Hello again. Another session with Dr. Big Ed, your guitar pedal shrink. So, we're going to talk about overdrives this time because it has been a particular bone with me lately, and I'll tell you why. So a friend of mine, he's a great musician, dipping his toes in the producing and working with this artist, and he sends me this track. He says, "What do you think of this?" And both myself and another pro friend of mine, he's got over 45 years of experience, we both had the same reaction. And that is, as soon as the lead guitar part came in, we're like, oh my God, that's a pedal. And what I mean by that is it was so distinctively not real that it was kind of bad. It just didn't fit the song, didn't fit anything. It was like a pedal sound. And a pedal sound can be cool sometimes. Let's not, kid ourselves. Except, as I said lately, it's been a particular bone with me with overdrives because I've gone through a ton of overdrives. There's so much debate on the web about this stuff, but here's where I'm at right now. It's a mask, okay? It can be useful from time to time. It can be useful for a particular sound with low wattage amps if you're playing at low levels. I totally understand if you're playing through a clean amp, low wattage, and you need to get that sound. But in truth, it doesn't sound real. It's a mask. You dig? It's very rare that it comes across as the real deal. There are some exceptions. I really love the Barefoot Model G. That thing, I don't know, I can play that through any amp and get a fantastic sound out of it. It doesn't go over the top. It's just a good sounding overdrive pedal, like low to medium gain. Especially when you get into the mid to higher gains, that's where you get in trouble. But just overall, they're a mask. And so I want to make some suggestions. And my suggestions are this. Try a boost pedal. Get your amp where you really like it, maybe on the edge of breakup, maybe even slightly more, and get a really good boost pedal. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of different types of boost pedals, right? I've done a shootout recently, and here's what I've found. The Peter Clinch Effects Burnish Boost, off the charts. That thing can make any guitar and any amp sound better. It's a Class A preamp, and Peter does not mess around. He doesn't. When he makes something, he won't make it unless it's killer. Another one that's really amazing, it's got a lot of range, it goes into overdrive territory, is the Alexander Pedals Riff, the one with the hand sanitizer thing on it. Super duper fantastic. Highly recommended, a little more on the gritty overdrive side. And third is the Spiral Effects White Boost, the white pedal, however he calls it. Unbelievable. It's got a lot of body, it's got character, the grit is just the perfect amount of grit. And what I'm suggesting to you is that these pedals will goose your amp in a better, more 3D realistic way than any overdrive pedal will. And a really cheap option is a pedal that was designed by Tom Cram of Spiral Effects. Doesn't have all the bells and whistles and options that the white pedal has, but that DOD bifet boost, pretty damn good. Like if they're blowing those out again, you might want to grab those too. Although I prefer the white boost because it's got a lot more going on. And the DOD bifet boost has a buffer. It has a buffer. Yeah, the family had a lot of buffers. So that's my basic pitch to you. Now, a lot of people have asked me about Dumble overdrives, and my buddy Henry has a few Dumbles. I've played through a real Dumble. None of the pedals really sound like a Dumble. I mean, they just don't. Some come close. I know what they're going for. That's what we say in Nashville. I know what you were going for. But two in particular that Henry endorses and I endorse as well is the Tanabe Dumkudo. It's pretty damn close, and it's not really that expensive. Just go to Tanabe's site and forget about Japanese conversion. It's not that expensive. It's really, really good. And the Barber Burn unit, the one with the two switches, so you have an A and B channel. I mean, you can get those really cheap. They're amazing. So if you're looking for the Dumble thing, don't kill yourself. Don't spend a lot of money. Don't go cuckoo. Those two will get the job done. And if you want the steel string singer version of the Dumble, which is great too, the Rocket Lemonade. Henry says that's as close as you're going to get to his steel string singer. Okay? Like $100, $110 maybe used. Amazing. So, that's another tip. One more bit of advice when it comes to getting a great sound, a varied, different sound that maybe a boost or an overdrive can't get you, but having your amp right where you want it, maybe even a little slightly goosed more. Rangemaster. Repeat after me. Rangemaster. Rangemasters, and there's a lot of them on the market. I've tried a ton of them. Man, you put a Rangemaster at the beginning of your chain, goosing that amp a little bit. Now, I know they're called treble boosters, but they're not just boosting treble, they're boosting, it's a mid thing going on as well, but the way they do it, and it's one of the simplest circuits in the world, so it shouldn't cost a fortune, although there are some that are better than others. You put a Rangemaster in front of what you got going on, oh my God, it's gonna open up and change everything for you. I mean, Brian May played with a Rangemaster. Tony Iommi played with a Rangemaster. A lot of people, a lot of classic sounds. Try one. They're not that expensive. Again, don't go crazy, but you'll be shocked what a boost or a Rangemaster or both can do for your sound. When it comes to overdrives, okay, let's get back to that for a second, because I don't want us to be an anti-overdrive thing. I just wanted to give you some options that I think are better. But if you have to go the overdrive route, don't get on mailing lists that last 3 years or, unobtainium things. I'm going to give you a couple of options. Now, the higher end option, but really, really freaking good. I gotta say, I was really skeptical when it came out, but Henry told me you gotta try this, and it blew me away because it is the most amp-like sound I've ever heard from a box. And that's the Origins Revival Drive. It's like off the charts. It's expensive, but it's off the charts. The advantage to it, even though it's expensive, is that you get 2 channels, right? So if you're playing a low wattage clean amp, you can set up one to be your cleanish sound. Maybe you're slightly on the edge of breakup and it's got tons of EQ options and ghosting and all this other stuff. And then you can switch to the other channel to get your more mid-rangey, goosed, overdrivey sound. And they're both going to be realistic and killing. The other thing it's got going for it is you can emulate different amps. So one side could be, and this is the other option for it, one side could be a Fender style clean amp. The other side could be a AC30 with some real drive going on, or the other side could be Marshall-y, etc., etc., etc. There's tons of options, and their manual's really useful for this. Okay, but it's expensive. So Dr. Big Ed, what is the cheaper option? I'm going to tell you. And it blew me away. I almost canceled my order for this because I've gotten down on the, mail wait list crap thing. But I had heard good things about the Snouse Electronics black box. It was supposed to be a, king of tone killer, blah, blah, blah. It is. It's amazing. I can't get a bad sound out of it. I can't. I use it as a clean boost from time to time, but when you use it as a clean boost, if you turn the gain up, you're basically getting a low to mid overdrive, but without some of the push of the overdrive options on it, because it's got what used to be internal dip switches are now in the out. This is the Pro version I'm talking about, the Black Box Pro. The internal dip switches are now on the outside, so you can flip them and play around to taste. So one dip switch down is clean boost, up is overdrive. So the overdrive is like, a little more congested and compressed, rounder. The clean boost is a cleaner, more open sound, but that doesn't mean you can't get some drive and grit with the clean boost either. It's got a tight versus open option. It's got, you can get more mid push out of it. It's got a boost option. It's got those dip switches, and the combinations are amazing. $179. I mean, so I've had it for about a year, and every time I take it off my board and put something else on there and then A/B it against the black box again later, the black box wins. It's just amazing. So those are my top two options, although I will put honorable mention for Spiral Effects again. Tom really kind of knows what he's doing. Like, he's serious about this stuff, and he takes his time and he tries a lot of combinations, but he just came out with this red pedal, which is a mid to low gain overdrive. It's a little on the dark side, so if that's what you're looking for, but he did it in collaboration with Chris from Shoe Pedals, who also really knows what he's doing. And that's the red from Spiral Effects. And the only other overdrives I can recommend wholeheartedly without any reservation are the Savior Machine, the Savior Machine from Shoe Pedals. Unbelievable. Like, you can't get a bad sound out of that, and it's very natural. And of course, the Timmy, right? I recently got a Timmy V3, the 15th anniversary thing. It doesn't work all the time, but like 80% of the time for what you're doing, amazing. So those are my recommendations. Most of them are not expensive. The Timmy, when you can get one, what does he charge? $135. It's insane. The black box, $179. Savior Machine's probably right around there. Anyway, take a look at some boosts, take a look at some Rangemasters, and take a look at some of these overdrive options if you want a natural 3D, complementary, not fake sounding, so that people go, oh, he just stepped on a pedal overdrive. All right, those are my recommendations. Let me know what you think below. We'll be back next week for another session. I've got some more stuff to talk about, but that's what's going on. All right, so stay safe, stay well, peace and love.